There's another week, which means it's another Monday, which means it's another KandL Mindset Monday Mindset Mentoring. I'm Laurence, I'm the founder of KandL, and I use my 11 plus years of experience in trying to distill all this information about leadership, about faith-forward guidance, about mindset, mental health for you as a man. A lot of the things you're struggling with are not things that your friends, family, especially your spouse, may understand, may not really be able to dive into. Not because they don't care about you, but rather because they don't understand you and your unique perspective. Does it often feel that way? You often feel lost, stuck in your own way. You're stuck in your own mind. You're stuck feeling that no one will ever understand what you have to offer, not because you don't have anything to offer, but because you don't know how to express the thing that you know is in you, especially as a guy. One of the things that you're seeing a lot nowadays is this idea that men are always angry. Why are you angry? Why are you not okay? What's going on? But then as soon as they ask you, how are you feeling? And you start saying, oh, I feel this way. I feel that way. They're like, hey, I didn't actually want you to. No, they're never going to say it. But you know in their head, they're like, I didn't actually want to know how you actually felt. I just wanted you to say I'm fine and we move on and have another drink. It's frustrating. It's hard. It's really difficult sometimes, yeah? Not being heard, not being felt, feeling like you can't exist and do what it is you feel called to do because you don't know how to express it. I get it. I don't mean like I get it as just because I need to say I get it. I'm a guy. I understand it's difficult. You might have a loving wife. I have a very loving wife. I have great parents. You might have great parents. You have good friends. I have great friends. But sometimes it's hard to say, I'm struggling. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really like my job, but I can't talk to you about that. Like yesterday, a friend asked me, how's work? Like, honestly, it's work. And I told him that. I'm like, it's what it is. Here are the parts I enjoy that have nothing to do with the job. I'm still training people, and I love that. It's difficult. I asked my wife, hey, can I have a moment to vent a little bit? And she said, I have no idea where I'm going with this. I have no idea what I'm doing in life. I have no idea if there's even a purpose in this. I don't know if there's a reason to keep doing this because am I just doing it to satisfy myself? Or am I just trying to fill a void I don't know how to fill? I learned it through the Wake Up Warrior method, that what used to excite you becomes normal. As it becomes normal, you get numb to it. As you are now numb, you have to look for things to sedate and cope and manage. That's why you go partying all weekend. That's why you play video games all day. That's why you do all these things except live the life that you want to live, because it's normal. You're now numb. You sedate to feel something again. And as you continue to sedate, whether it's in fitness, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your business, your work, your finances, and then you feel stuck. And you look back and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going? What is the point of all this? Being Monday, I do this on Monday because a lot of times we get stuck in ourselves on Monday. You can either be really excited, like, oh my God, it's another week, we can get a lot of stuff done, or it ends up being, here we go again. And I think there's like a path we go through. When you start working a new job, for example, I think that's the most accessible thing we're all in. That's the most accessible example we can all use, right? You have a job. You've been out of work for a year like I was, and you found a job, and you're like, okay, I can finally stop doing all these dumb contracts I don't care for. You get into the job, you're excited, you're gung-ho, you do everything you need to do, and then a year later you're like, I don't get paid enough for this. Now I don't care about Karen and accounting. Now I don't care about billing. And you start acting that way. And as you act that way, it becomes normal. And because you're numb to how you talk to people, you're numb to the job that you used to be excited about, you start to party on the weekends, whatever you determine partying to be, whatever you sedate with. You come home from work and you're bored out of your mind, so you sedate with Netflix. You sedate with food. Random hookups, whatever it may be. There will come a point in life where you recognize that you have been sedating, that you are unhappy with what you are doing, and what you are doing is no longer serving you. That is because life slowly becomes normal. As it becomes normal, you become numb. And as it gets numb, you sedate. And in that pit of the sedation, that's when you start to say, maybe there's something different. Maybe there's more to this. If you're watching this video, you're probably someone who feels that way. You're in that pit where you're saying, there's no way this is it. There's no way this is all there is in life. There's no way that this is where I cap off in life. Because you look at everyone when you go out on the weekends, they all look happy. But you know that when they're drinking something away. Usually it starts out like, let's celebrate this, let's enjoy this. But you know deep down that they're drinking, they're partying, they're out because they want to avoid themselves. So you've now woken up to this idea that you're trying to avoid something. And now that you've noticed that there's something you're avoiding, you have that moment of clarity where you say, what am I trying to avoid? What am I really looking for? What am I looking at? Because life wasn't meant for you to avoid things. Life was meant for you to enjoy things. And that might be really difficult right now, because right now you're not at a point where you're like, I don't have money to enjoy my life. Or maybe you don't have the money to enjoy your life because you haven't provided the value to give others what they want so that you can have everything you want. I think it was Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar that said, Zig Ziglar says, you can have anything you want if you give enough people what they want in life. Now that doesn't mean go around being Mr. Nice Guy and giving them, yes sir, yes ma'am. But what it means is that you have skills, you have a purpose, you have a intention for your life. In order to get to that intention, you're going to have to share things along the way that get you there. So when you work your job, you have a skill set that they're paying you for in order to get the job done. So when you do the job that you have been hired to do and you give people the product, the reports, the data, the information, whatever your job is, when you give the benefit of that job to your employer, they pay you. As you give them what they want, you get what you want. Right now, you might not be making what you want, but are you giving enough to get what you want? Now I know this is when I say, I don't get paid enough for this. That's very valid. You might very well not be getting paid your worth. You may be working at a company that does not like you. You may be working at a company that undervalues you. But the reality is it doesn't matter, because you can't change how they feel. What you can do is change how you feel. If you feel they are not valuing you the way you need to be valued, maybe you need to look inward and say, I'm not valuing myself. I'm devaluing myself. I'm putting myself down by staying here. And I get it, easier said than done. I've been job searching for a minute. I've been trying to hunt down a different job. And sometimes they're just not looking. Sometimes those jobs aren't real. I post about it on LinkedIn and people are like, that's not fair. But the people posting about it are HR, who are supposed to say that. So who are you listening to? Are you listening to that voice in your head that says, this isn't real, that's not real? Or are you going to listen to yourself and maybe that connection you have with God that says, you're called for something more. You're called for something different. I do not believe God ever tells you you're called to less. That's your mind. That's your story. That's people that have told you you're not good enough. You're people telling you you're not worthy of that. That's you every morning waking up saying, who am I to be valued this way? Who am I to want this? Who am I to say that this is what I want in my life? God literally placed Adam and Eve in abundance. They said, here's everything you can have. Here's everything you can want, but there's this one tree you can't touch. And everyone's like, why do you put that tree there? Well, you have to have freedom. You have the freedom to stay at the job you're at. You have the freedom to stay at the relationship you're at. You have the freedom to stay wherever position you are in right now in life. That means you have the freedom to leave that position if it no longer serves you. So ask yourself, what is holding you back? What's keeping you stuck? What's making you say that I'm not worthy of that, this, the other? What's making you say, I'm not worthy of abundance, I'm not worthy of wealth, I'm not worthy of a relationship where I'm cared for, I'm not worthy of X, Y, Z? And what are you seeing in life right now? What you see in life right now is a physical manifestation of the things going on in your head. If you say, I'm not worth it, you're never going to go chase that job. You're never going to go chase that girl. You're never going to go chase that car. You're never going to go not like literally like a squirrel or a dog chasing a car, but if you have dreams and goals, What are you telling yourself? What are the stories going on in your head that keep you stuck in where you're at that are no longer serving you? Because maybe at one time it served you. When I struggled to get a job for a year because I quit a job that I hated because I hated the bosses. Small companies sometimes are the most catty because they micromanage everything. I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm saying it's my fault. I could have been a better employee. I should have been a better employee. I should not have complained as much. I should have done my job no matter what, but still searched. Instead, I quit with a week's notice and just left. The world and the universe are gonna give me everything I want because I took a chance on myself. That's a lie. The world's gonna give you what you want based on what you're willing to work for. If you're not willing to work for it, you're not gonna get it. Plain as that. It has nothing to do with what you deserve and what you've earned. It's what you're willing to ask for, what you're willing to work for. What you're willing to ask and work for are based on the things you're telling yourself what you are worth. If you always think you're only worth driving a Hyundai, well, if you're only worth driving a Hyundai or a Kia, you're only going to work to the level, look at the level, live in a level worth of a Hyundai and Kia. Nothing wrong with those cars. They're solid cars, but they are like average, mediocre cars. I can't talk because I love my Toyota 4Runner. But nowadays, a Toyota 4Runner is like 50, 70K now. So it's kind of like a mid-level car now. It's a nice mid-level car. But you have dreams and goals. And your dreams and goals are capped based on what you think about yourself. If you never imagine that you can make six figures, you'll never get to six figures. If all you've been told all your life is that you are not worth that, you'll only be a blue-collar worker. Nothing wrong with blue-collar trade jobs. So they're great. But if everyone only told you you're only worth $50,000, you're only worth 55, you maybe get a bonus every 3 years. And you accept it, you ingrain this story in your head saying, this is all I am worth. So when you challenge it and you say, I want that manager position, but no one ever told me I was good enough to be a manager. Maybe that's not for me. How many times have you said that? How many times have you had a dream and you stopped yourself and said, they said that I couldn't have it, so they said I wouldn't be worth it, so they are going to dictate what I'm doing right now. Probably more than you're willing to say you've allowed that to happen. Probably way more than you're willing to say that you've taken a chance on yourself versus others. And for the most part, 99% of the time, they're not doing it because they're trying to put you down. They're doing it because they don't want you to fall. Your friends, your family, no one wants you to do worse, which is why they tell you those things. Don't make bad investments because you need to put your extra savings in a 401k that's going to grow 2% over time. Put your money in a savings account that's going to get you 10 cents every year on the 10,000 you put in there that they make 100,000 on. This is not financial, medical, nor psychiatric advice. I do not portray any of this to be that. This is for educational purposes only. Now that we got the disclaimer out of the way, what are the things that they are telling you to do that you are just taking as a story but they're a trusted authority. They know what they're doing. They have my best interest in mind, right? Wrong. Unless it is God, unless it is a partner. Actually, even then, you don't know what goes on in your partner's head. Because as a human, it's a human. Yeah, it's only God. You and God are the only ones that will ever have your best interest at heart. I say that with a loving wife. I say that with a loving family. I say that with loving friends. Your dog, it would be a theology teacher that told me this one time. Like, your dog doesn't love you. They love the fact that you feed them. You stop feeding them, that's what they're going to do. They're going to look for someone else who's going to feed them. Your wife might love you. Probably loves you dearly. It's not a reflection of them. This is not a reflection of my wife. This is not a reflection of your wife, your partner, whomever it may be. But at the end of the day, if you don't show up for yourself, what are they going to do? They're going to look for someone who can lead and show up for themselves so they can follow that person. If you stop caring about yourself, your spouse is not beholden to stay with you. Yes, for better or for worse, but that also means that you have to be better or you're getting worse. Your parents are looking out for themselves because when they have you, you are a reflection of them. If you fail, they look bad. So yes, they may care about you and they care about you deeply if they're good parents and they're normal parents. But at the end of the day, they're still looking out for themselves because they have to. Every time you get off the plane, every time you get on the plane, put your mask on first before you help others. Because you are no good to anyone else if you are not good to yourself. If you cannot take care of yourself, how do you expect someone to take care of them? How do they expect you to take care of them? If you have kids, your kids rely on you to take care of them. Because like age, legal, stuff like that, you know what I mean. If you can't take care of yourself, they're going to look at you like, dude, I need to search somewhere else for this because I'm not getting it with my dad or mom and whoever you may be. If you can't love yourself and you can't provide that love to your kids are going to find that love elsewhere, however they choose to find it. That's supposed to scare you a little bit. If you can't love yourself, guess what you're going to do? You're going to look for that love somewhere else, wherever you think you're worth finding it. You may be the smartest, wisest person in the world. It's kind of like in Good Will Hunting, which is one of my favorite movies. And it's 30 years old, so you can spoil it. This is not a spoiler. Will is one of the smartest people like at Harvard, but he works as a janitor because he doesn't think it's worth more than that. He might be the smartest person. He may have all these understanding and skills that will best then impress all the college professors, but he doesn't think he's beyond a certain level, so he doesn't go beyond that. Until later, he's like, I'm going to see a better girl. He decides to go after something that's worth chasing after. He's decided he's going to go experience it. When you stop saying, I'm not worth it, I'm not worth that, I'm only worth this, and you start to say, I want to experience the love I want, the life I want, the job I want, the vacations I want, not because I'm trying to run away from something, but because not because you're trying to escape something, but because you want to experience something, imagine how insane your life is going to be. How insanely amazing life can be when you choose to stop escaping and instead start to enjoy and appreciate and work towards things because you want the experience, not the escape. The job you seek, are you seeking it because you're trying to escape a lower level income bracket? Are you looking for that next step because you want to escape where you're at right now? Or are you looking at that next step because you want to enjoy that next level? Are you waiting for that 1 week vacation that you're allowed to take where you have to ask for time off and make sure that your job is covered because you're trying to escape your job? Or are you saying, I want to go enjoy that Greek beach. I'm going to go take my wife on a Greek vacation and enjoy it because I want to enjoy it, not because I'm trying to escape. One of the saddest moments of this year was when me and my wife, we had a Monday off and we went to go eat out. We had lunch when no one else was around. Nice steakhouse, no one else was there, just a couple of business people. And we got to look around and say, this is the life. Like just going in and enjoying your day when everyone else is working at 9 to 5 and you get to go enjoy a steakhouse lunch in the middle of the work week, which most of us who are coming from immigrant parents have no idea how to do. They can't even do it on the weekend. But we got to go on a mid-Monday, enjoy a nice lunch together, and I ruined her day when I said it was nice to get away from work for a while. And she just stopped and looked at me. We also went shopping, and she looked at me and she said, it's been a great day, but it's the fact that you think you're trying to escape something rather than just enjoy the moment. Just take it from me. She loves me. I love her. But so you don't ever feel that pain of hearing your spouse say, I thought we were enjoying the moment, but instead it just ended up being sedation from what you're trying to escape. Your life is meant to be experienced, not escaped. I had more planned out for this, but I think that's where I'm going to leave it, because I want you to think about that. What are you trying to escape versus what are you trying to experience? What are the things you want to experience and grow and enjoy in life? And are you going towards something with the expectation of experience and enjoyment, love, fulfillment, happiness, and peace? Or are you just trying to run away from something? And as you continue to run and run and run and run, you run to something new, new becomes normal, normal becomes numb, and eventually you sedate and you look for the escape again. These are the stories you're telling yourself in your head over and over again. So when you decide you want to change the story, you're going to have links in below to join our program to start rewriting that story. Because everything you experience in life is based on a story. What are the stories you're telling yourself in your head that keep you stuck in that normalcy that you're trying to numb and sedate with? Instead, how about you write the story to say, I'm going to go and enjoy that steak dinner with my wife on a mid-Monday where everyone else is working and we can enjoy something that's different, something that's new and novel, and it stays new and novel because we choose to enjoy it rather than trying to escape from something. This is Laurence with KandL Mindset. Laurence leads at everywhere else. In peace, love, and light. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Until next time, you have a great day. Take this with you. What are you going to enjoy? What are you going to experience through the week? And where can you enjoy and experience life rather than run away from and escape the things that you no longer enjoy? In peace, love, and light. Until next time. Signing off.